Hey guys, Marmalade here with Marmalade Outdoors, and welcome to episode 15 of What I've Learned on the PCT. All right, as always, we have four great questions here. And before we get going, please consider subscribing and liking and hitting that notification bell if you want to be notified every time I have a new video. We also are looking for a lot more questions, so bring them on if you can. It doesn't have to be about the PCT too. It could just be about the outdoors and backpacking and gear and just the mental and physical side of things when you hike. So yeah, bring on the questions if you can. But let's get on with question number one. All right, so number one is Jeff with the Van Fossen family. He says, I'm heading out on the JMT Nobo August 25th. Wondering if I will have any trouble with snow that late in the season given it's such a high snow year. So I do not have a crystal ball, but yeah, the percentile snow is well over 200% this year. We never know what the spring is going to be like, right? So it could get super warm. I know in Southern California it's already getting really warm. And some of the places that I'm eyeing because I have to get on trail to finish the PCT this year has a lot of snow right now, but it's getting warm there. So my guess, it's at the end of August, you're going to be in pretty good shape. I think because it's a really big snow year, I would expect seeing snow on the north-facing sides of all the mountains. That's the side that is in the shade most of the day, if not all the day. It doesn't matter if you're in smaller mountains that have snow or in big mountains like the Sierra. When the snow's not hitting there, there's patches I've seen, you could look at some of the high mountains that aren't even on the trail and there's snow there all year round. So I would expect you to see some to a decent amount on the northern facing sides. But when you get to late August, there's enough hikers, they should have worn in a trail or at least have footsteps for you. If you want to be doubly safe, you could carry, I'm not sure about needing an ice axe, but you could for sure carry some micro spikes just to be safe. But I don't know, I think I would just go for it. I don't necessarily want to carry the extra pound of micro spikes unless I have to. But yeah, that's my humble opinion. Don't hold me to it. But I'm thinking by the end of August, that's almost September, most of the snow, except for those northern facing sides, should be gone. All right, the second question is from a good friend, David E. He asked me, do you use special inserts for your shoes or just whatever comes in them? So this is a great question. I'm very lucky. I mean, I'm a bigger guy. I wear size 12, but I have normal feet. As a kid and I was growing up really fast, I was very short for a long time before I kind of spurted and grew up. So I had very long, narrow feet, but they filled out as I got older. I don't have high or low arches. I have very normal feet, so I think I'm lucky. I think I fit in most shoes. But I've mostly, except for a pair of topos, I've used Ultra hiking shoes, and I just go with whatever comes in them. I've used them so long and I've hiked so much, I've trained my feet to just be okay with them. So I just make sure I have a lot of room in the toe box so I don't get blistering and they're comfortable. But I would have, you can get like hot molded, or you can get there's things you can get, put your feet in molds and send them in. They can actually make arch kits for you if you think you have unusual feet, or just have them checked out by a podiatrist. But, for me, I don't know if I have normal feet, but I think I do. I just never had any problems. So I hope that answers your question. But I think everybody, if you are having problems with your feet or shoes, I would have them checked out, find out what's going on with your feet, and maybe get some orthotics to go in your shoes. All right, my third question is from another friend, Diamond Dave, or Double D as he likes to go by. He wants to know, have you used the thin Injinji toe liner socks? And if so, what is your take on them? So I use them exclusively for probably I've been hiking about 7 years. I would say for 4 years plus I used Injinji toe liners. And then those are thin cotton liner socks if you don't know about them. And they're like gloves, but they go on your toes. And that helps from getting the blisters between all your toes. And then you wear the Darn Tough over them. And I was a little skeptical at first because I was a beginner hiker when I started wearing them, but also I felt like my feet would sweat or be too hot. But I didn't have that problem. It is a little weird at first putting material between your toes, but it's weird. Once you start hiking, that feeling goes away. It feels like a normal pair of shoes. But I can tell you that I never once ever got a single blister wearing that combination of Injinji toe liner socks and Darn Tough wool socks. Not once. When I got in the PCT, my first year before I got hurt, I did 902 miles with that exact combo and never got a single blister. But I also got my shoe system to fit right too, so I had that all right. But no, I think they're worth it, and it's worth trying anyway. I will do a disclaimer and say that I got tired of, especially when your feet are wet or soaking from sweat or from going through river crossings. I just had a hard time taking them off. When I would take them off, they turn inside out, and then the toe liner socks I'd have to put back. I've had them be wet and then freeze in the morning, and for me, they became a pain, and I don't know why, but I decided, I'm gonna on off season when I was hiking a lot, just train my feet just to wear darn tough wool socks. So I eventually did that, and now it's less I have to put on, less it slows me down in the morning, less I have to carry, less I have to wash, things like that. They're not heavy, so they're not heavy if you have them in your pack. But yeah, now I just wear darn tough wool socks, and I'm happy. Okay, the fourth and final question is from Mark Birch. He asks, what do you do with your food during the first 700 miles at night on trail? I am an older hiker that lives in Pennsylvania and I'm thinking of section hiking the PCT. Great question. So I'll tell you what I did. Because I live here in Southern California and cut my teeth in section A and B of the PCT, I'm not as worried as a lot of people. But what I do is I basically have a food bag like everybody else, and then I carry those very thick op sacks. They're basically like a super turbo thick Ziploc bag basically, and they're supposed to be odor proof. So what I do is put my food in there, zip it up, I put it in my food bag just for a double bag, and then I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm gonna maybe change the way I do this, but I've always just kept my food in my tent at night. I've never once had a problem with them, with any varmints. Not that it can't happen, but that can happen no matter where you live, where you are. You can get mice, and I have in Washington had a mouse chew through my tent to get to my food. But in the desert, I haven't had any problem. There are people that, if you're worried about it, you can carry a medium to small bear canister and just not worry about it. But I don't want to carry that physical size of a canister and the weight, so that's how I do it. I hope that answers your question. All right, so those were 4 great questions. Thank you so much for those questions. And as I said earlier, I'm looking for more questions. This was episode 15, and I have enough for a couple more, but I'm looking for some more. So please, there's no dumb questions. So ask away, something you thought about that you're wondering about. I would love to answer it. I'll give you credit, whoever asked the question. And that's all I got. As I said before, please consider subscribing, liking, and hitting the notification bell in the upper right. We're going to have a bunch more of these coming out, so you'll be notified every time I have one. Those are all free, no cost to you. So come on, help me out. I will say the channel is starting to grow, and I have well over 600 videos now, and all the time and effort I spent on it. It's nice to see that I'm finally getting some growth on the channel. But I want to thank all of you who have been subscribed, and thank the ones that are about to subscribe. I appreciate it. And that's all I got. I'm getting out of here. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you down the trail. Bye.